Hello, Internet. You're listening to the InYourHouse Comedy Podcast with the Babyface and his fellow funny friend. Now hold on to your butts. Keep your arms and legs inside the podcast at all times. Prepare to have an autographical orgasm in 3, 2, 1.
Hello everybody and welcome to the KD Comedy In Your House Podcast. This is episode number 20. This is season 3. We are back after quite a while actually. It's been a good probably like 6-8 months, something like that. It was before the world started to die. It was the last time we did the In Your House podcast. I am here with the creator of the post-apocalyptic Metal Treehouse sketch show and the Dead Man Dancing YouTube channel. He is the master of 1,000 voices, and not all of them are in his head. The head pope of the KD Parish, Mr. Nathan Parish. How are you, dude?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm doing pretty good.
Hey, people. Oh, where am I looking? Hey, people. Quick last-minute thing. This is an exclusive clip from... Yeah, Mum says hello. This is an exclusive clip from episode 4 of the post-apocalyptic Metal Treehouse sketch show by Nathan Parish. We'll get on with it straight after, and yeah, you know.
Are you tired of being fucked over by the police just because you're an hard case criminal? Sick of being arrested and not having the bail to get out of jail? I'm Ronnie Fungus, and like many of you crooks, I found myself in custody with no one to bail me out. I couldn't even flee to the Bahamas. I spent years behind bars unnecessarily, which gave me time to think. Should I renounce my life of crime? Go straight and start a respectable business? Of course not, you mug! Instead I created bailmeout.com. Simply install the app on your phone and we'll pay your way out of jail. I used bailmeout.com because I dobbed in all my mates to the police to get a bigger return on my weed. I never thought I'd get out of jail, but luckily, because I had my smartphone hid up my arse, I could just use bailmeout.com. All it took was one click. Well, that and some soap to get it out. All it takes to set up is your address, phone number, and 3 bits of personal information we can use against you as leverage. And it's not just for hardened career criminals neither. I was retained on a charge of sexual assault. My Fortune 500 company never would have survived the media fallout if I had to serve time, so I used bailmeout.com. Not only was I able to flee to Russia, where authorities have no jurisdiction, but now I'm friends with Vladimir Putin and can do basically anything I want. Bailmeout.com also offers a loan scheme where you don't have to pay.
Tell us a bit about the shows you've been doing as well and stuff.
No,
you know.
I've just done episode 3 of Post-Apocalyptic Metal Treehouse. Well, it's been out for about a week. It's only got 17 views. Well, it's got 22 views on YouTube. It's got 17 listens in total off of SoundCloud and combined and stuff. I need to just. Well, I don't know, man. I need to find a way to boost that thing. But
yeah.
But at the same time, like, I don't care. I'd do it even if no one listened to it. I love making that show so much, man.
Yeah.
And I love the final product so much.
Well, what I've gathered so far is consistency is the main thing. You've got to keep pumping it out because eventually something will just click. You know, if it's like you know decent enough to be there, like with any, then it's got to be there, keep being there for the for it to get to that, not to get to that point, but it's just like that magic concoction of timing and stuff.
It's like hopefully someone will find it and then that'll, they'll watch all the episodes. And if there's more there, they'll sit and binge the whole thing. They're more likely to like it. They're more likely to tell people about it. But I don't just want to do this as well. Like there's a plan for what's coming next, which is, it's not completely different. It's still audio stuff, but it's a series I wanted to do, which is like an anthology thing, which is Bewildering Tales, which is just, lots of very strange stories that I've sort of come up with over the years that I think all sort of combine together quite well into this weird little universe. But that's going to require other people.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Oh, like a scripted kind of audio sitcom podcast.
Well, almost like a sitcom. Imagine a more comedic version of like Black Mirror kind of stuff, and only half an
Yeah.
hour long, because I can't be bothered to make something that lasts an hour. That would take ages.
Oh, yeah, half an hour take long enough.
Yeah, and that one's going to require other actors in it as well, because I can't just do all of the things I do as a one man
Yeah.
show. Get ridiculous after a while.
It'd be quite easy, man. You could get the other comics on, or there's a few websites you can go on that people want to do it for free and stuff, just to get the experience as well.
Yeah, potentially. But it's quite exciting to sort of just go out there and make a show and just
Yeah.
ignore anyone telling you whether you can or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the thing, that the argument, ain't it? Because people say nowadays, like YouTube and stuff, it's easier. You got more of a platform, but at the same time, there's a lot more people that have the same platform, so it's harder to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to get
But-
seen because everyone's,
Yeah.
everyone's competing for that level of attention. But as I say, I it's so much fun doing it anyway. It doesn't even matter.
That's the same with me, man. Like, I get some okay views on Facebook sometimes, but it's still not okay in the grand scheme of things and all that, like thousands of views and shit. Yeah, you just got to keep it consistent. That's what I hope.
That's
anyway.
the thing. Is like, it's that thing, man. It's a bit like the lottery. If you're not in the game, you're not going to win.
Yeah.
And
It's one of the things you always hear about, like, comedians when they're talking about it. Well, not all the time. Some of them say it's all just luck, and then some are like, well, it's luck, but you have to be there for that luck to happen. So it's not just luck.
Yeah, luck is is where preparation meets timing. That's the classic phrase. Yeah, I can't remember who it was who said that, but it's brilliant. I love it.
I like that. That's very good. I've never heard that before. Oh yeah. So you were saying with that then, like last time we were talking, we was on about stand up and stuff.
Yeah.
Apparently there's going to be, like, we won't talk too much about COVID because it's probably been everywhere, but it's pointless like trying to ignore it, as well.
It exists. It's a thing, and it sucks ass. Yeah, we know. Yeah.
But that's the point, though. Apparently, there is like a vaccine coming out now. It'll be they want an emergency vaccine like for America in like November, and then here like after December or something.
It'd be interesting if it did turn up that quickly. I've heard people say spring next year. I've heard people say, this winter. Whichever one it is, as soon as it's around, as soon as it's provably not going to mess people up.
Well, the one about at the moment is in Belgium, and they've made like something like 100,000 doses so far they've produced.
Yeah.
And they're going through a next trial at the moment, and that's on 44,000 people. Yeah. And that's the one that, if it all goes well, it should be around that kind of time.
But you
never know.
Man. That would be good. If it could just be over, that would be lovely. And like I've had other people sort of tell me, various things like, there's reasons to fear the vaccine and all that kind of stuff. At this point, I don't care. Even if it is some massive global conspiracy to keep me under control, I'm still going to take the goddamn vaccine so I can do my stand-up. Don't care.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that brings up so many good points.
It is realistic.
Well, no, it's not, like, just ignoring why it would be. I mean, that's what I was actually about to ask you. First of all, though, do you think there would be, because this is the kind of time when would anti-vaxxers really stick to their guns, when that came out?
There are a few who definitely will. There are a few who definitely will, because I've seen, some friends on Facebook who are still, definitely don't want to go for it.
But that's what I'm saying. They might say it and like that attention, or like to say it, but would they?
Yeah, but no, as soon as it's there, as soon as you've got the option, it's going to be pretty tempting, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not like people would know either. You could carry on saying, no, I'm never going to take it. Oh, what's that on your arm? Nothing, man. No. What are you doing?
Nothing.
I'm looking at my arm.
And ultimately, like, I've had all the other vaccines so far. I've not had any major reactions to it. Everything seems to be fine.
Yeah. And
Um,
the flu was a different one this year. I think it was because wasn't it? Normally, it's like that thing where they put just like a little virus in, and you like build up defenses against it. But there's some
yeah.
new one about it, like what would be the word? Making the part of the immune system you need like react so that it will fight against this.
That's
Something
interesting.
like that, anyway.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, the way I know that the vast majority of vaccines work is you've got the virus,
Hmm.
and it's got the various little prongs that stick out of it that can sort of affect things, little enzymes, basically. At least I think that's basically what they are. And when it attaches to something, it injects a load of stuff. It creates more viruses from that cell by invading it and making it create more. But if you take a virus and sort of destroy the vast majority of the virus structure, but leave a couple of bits intact,
Yeah,
so it's dead, but
it's still there.
it's sort of still there. Yeah, that's when you
Yeah.
inject that in, and then it sort of
Oh,
creates a locking mechanism basically in that's your T cells reacting to it or whatever. I think that's what they're called. They intersect that, the protein then can sort of destroy that thing, and then once it knows it's there, it can just do that with every single virus it comes
yeah,
across.
yeah. It's like you're showing it, it recognizes it, and then when it comes back, it's just like, boop.
Yeah. Now the
Yeah.
weird thing is, again, like there are people who keep getting COVID afterwards, which is pretty fucking freaky.
Well, I mean, you say that, but there's other ones where you can get it more than once. And like the common cold, the flu, you can get it more than once.
Yeah, but the
And
common
they're
cold is for
coronaviruses
the
too.
most. Yeah, well, no, they're a different thing entirely. A
They're still part of
coronavirus.
the influenza's part of
No,
a coronavirus, ain't it?
no. Influenza's
Um,
flu virus.
yeah, yeah.
Coronaviruses include MERS, SARS, and MERS. I think it is, or MERS. It's MERS, which is similar to SARS but came from camels.
Oh, God,
Um,
okay.
there is a potential chance that the avian flu that sort of was around a while ago, the bird flu thing, that could have been a coronavirus as well. We're not sure
Maybe
on that.
that's why I'm thinking flu and stuff because there's other one, like that. But
Yeah. And even the
yeah, yeah,
Spanish flu could have been a coronavirus as well. That's what they're starting to think at the moment.
that would make
They've
sense
always,
considering the time frame as well. If you
yeah.
believe in that part of it.
Well, it's something that could have been around for a very long time and occasionally just manages to break its way into human beings, which
Yeah,
sucks ass. Uh, but there we
I'm,
go.
I'm like. I'm really. It's one of them. I'm conflicted on it. I don't like to say I think this either way because I kind of go in and out, and I don't know what opinion I am of. But yeah, sometimes like I feel like there is credence to that part, like that it's just a natural thing. But at the same time, it very much just to me feels like it came from that lab in Wuhan. It just
I
makes
keep
so much
thinking that.
sense.
It does make a lot of sense for something to have broken out of a lab, and whether it was necessary, whether it was made or not, we don't know. It could have been naturally occurring, and they were studying in it, and it got out. Or
Yeah, yeah,
that's the thing, and China was so very quick to say that nothing was happening.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and
And why were
when
they doing that? Was it because they thought they were good enough to be able to contain it and not have to mention it, or because they just
I don't
wanted
think so.
to? No.
No, I don't think so. I don't think they thought they could contain it.
I mean, they've done that in the past. So they're quite good with their kind of virus outbreaks, aren't they? Because there's so many people in China. That's where, like, it happens quite a lot, doesn't it? That's why they walk around in masks and stuff all the time.
Yeah, yeah. I think the mask thing is for flu as well. There's sort of a more common understanding of the way masks work and the way they stop sort of the vast majority of the
Yeah, yeah.
particles leaving your face.
We'll become like that now, even after this. It'll become a
I hope
thing. I
so.
think. Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm
hope so.
fine with that. I like it.
I don't have a problem with the masks. I don't understand anyone having a problem with the masks. Like it literally doesn't affect your day at all. I do,
No.
removals work with an actual respirator gas mask on, I've got
Oh wow, okay, yeah.
filters. I lock them in. I can't breathe apart from through those filters. And it's not as easy as breathing through a cloth mask, and I'm lifting wardrobes downstairs, and I'm
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, I imagine you get used to it, or do you feel like it's more of a workout then with that?
uh no, I just get used to it. It's
Yeah.
really not that bad, you know.
I've been having arguments with people lately, man. Like the shop by me, just aren't doing anything.
Yeah,
Uh,
I can't stand it.
still, yeah, it's like you even legally have to now, and they're
Yeah.
like, no, I'm gonna wait, and then they were saying that kind of stuff, like, oh, I can't breathe properly with a mask on all day, it's uncomfortable. I'm like, but how do you think the nurses? What?
Yeah.
Oh,
It doesn't actually stop you from breathing properly at all. And I
no,
know there are certain cases where people can't wear them, and that's fine. If you've got an actual medical reason not to wear it, that's fine. But just
yeah,
saying like, oh, I don't want to have to wear a mask because of I don't like not being able to see people smile, or because of it's
yeah,
just
because
fuck
of
off
this
with
or
your
this,
bullshit, and just be a good person and accept the
yeah,
fact that you can get closer to people and do more things when you're wearing the mask. That's the other thing that confuses me. Everyone's going like, oh well, the mask, it's all about oppression, and this is all about stopping you. They're trying
yeah,
to get you to wear the mask so that you can keep buying shit. That
yeah.
is literally what is happening here.
How dare they try and save you, basically?
Yeah, how dare they try and tell me to wear a mask which will enable me to do what I want to do throughout the day? What the fuck are you on?
And in turn, probably save the vulnerable people that I know.
Yeah,
What the fuck is wrong with them?
I don't. Yeah, I just don't get it. I don't get it,
Fucking
man.
hell.
But that's
Yeah,
humans,
it's
isn't
one
it?
of them. You laugh about it and then you stop and think for a second. It's like, oh god, that's true though.
Yeah, this is happening. Yeah, this is actually
Yeah,
happening.
it's fucking. I get so annoyed now that I
Speaking of
can't.
this is actually happening. The presidential debates, bro. Did you see the
Oh,
presidential debates, bro?
yes,
Oh my
amazing,
god.
amazing for us that don't live in America anyway.
I absolutely incredible to watch. It was like watching old men fall downstairs having a fight. It was brilliant.
Like, shut up, man. Just constantly
Could you
interrupting
just,
him.
oh, for God's sake, you were the worst president in history. You know that.
There you go. That's the voice
Oh,
you should bring in. You should bring in Biden and Trump.
yeah. Trump is something else. Everyone does Trump though. That's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the
I
thing.
used to
Yeah.
have a good Trump, but it's hard to try and sort of nail it down. What's a good Trump saying that he always says?
This is going to be the best
China.
brother ever.
Oh, it's going to
China.
be the greatest. It's going to be the best. It's going to be the most beautiful wall you've ever seen in your life. It's going to be an amazing wall. You won't be able to climb it because it's going to have snipers. It's a wall.
Oh, you know what though? Talking about Trump, that's another thing that makes it so hard now when you're talking to someone and they're like, "Oh, it doesn't exist" and all that Corona. It's
Yeah.
so much harder now to argue against them with Trump apparently getting it and apparently getting over it in 4 days. A 72-year-old obese guy with diabetes,
Yeah, but they used a stem cell drug, which at the same time, the
Yeah,
Republican Party's sitting there going, "Oh, you can't use stem cells. They're from babies. That's unacceptable." And then Trump's like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna take that shit."
I didn't know he used stem cells for it. I assumed there was
Yeah,
something to do with it, something
yeah,
to do with some extra thing that other people wouldn't get.
yeah. It's an incredibly expensive treatment as well. It's like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, it's because there's just not that many available because of the debate with all the ethical side and that.
Well, actually, the weird thing is as well, you can actually make stem cells from like your own body material now. It's not. I
Okay.
think it might actually be a bit more expensive, but basically, you just like take skin cells or fat cells, things like that, and you can sort of chemically somehow, don't know what the entire process is, revert them back to stem cells, and then you can sort of re-inject your own stem cells into you, which is like way easier for your body to take because it's
Yeah.
it's your stem cells.
Yeah, it's not a
Um,
foreign thing.
Yeah, I saw that
Hmm.
on the Joe Rogan podcast when he was talking to Mel Gibson, which is a weird conversation.
I never knew that episode happened until recently. I was watching like a top 10 list of them, and I've just had no idea. I
Yeah.
don't plan to watch it at all.
To be fair, like it was fascinating, and you know,
Because
I
he had
don't.
like a microbiologist or something with him, didn't he? Or
Yeah,
something
yeah, yeah. The
psychologist.
guy who did the process on his dad, who was like a 90-year-old man, couldn't walk, couldn't like breathe properly, had a fucked up heart, all this kind of stuff. Went and did this procedure and could
Hmm.
walk, could almost run. You know, ridiculous,
Yeah.
ridiculous shit. Yeah.
That's basically like it feels like
Hang on, I'm gonna sneeze.
it
Goddamn son of a bitch. Right.
feels like anti-aging kind of stuff, like a fountain of youth kind of thing. Oh,
Yeah.
it could be very much anyway.
Oh, it definitely can be. Hang on. For example, they use this was on the H3 podcast. They use
Yeah.
stem cells made from Korean baby circumcisions to make
Right.
yeah, I know, to make a facial like treatment for like stars in America.
Okay.
Yeah, I shit you
Yeah.
not.
Okay.
There
Yeah.
is footage of on the Ellen show, I think it was, of Sandra Bullock talking about it. It's like, oh yeah, they do this and they do that, and Ellen's roasting her on it. Like, no, but where do they get these stem cells from though? And she's like, well, they get it from baby penises, and it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, how is
Like,
that okay?
where would you get them from normally? Like, arguably, like if you were gonna use them for mass produce them and all that, so that kind of stuff was available for more people. Where is it? Literally from killing babies? It's not,
No,
is it?
no, no, no.
No,
No, it's abortion
embryos.
stuff. So embryos,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
aborted fetuses, which is, you know, you can have a question on where the line is on people being people, but I tend to
Oh
lean
yeah,
towards pro-choice. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah. I was having this discussion the other day with my goth mate, and we was arguing like when is too late, like to abort. Because some people, like abort like just before they're born and stuff, and that is weird.
Yeah, nah, I'm not okay with that.
Yeah,
There's a that once the baby is sort of able to be taken out and could sort of live, I don't think you can really say that's acceptable.
I think some part. I don't know if it is here, but I know in some parts of America it is. Like you can do it up to pretty much right up to your date. I think I might be wrong. I might be
I'm not
wrong.
sure. I think they might have had rules that were like that, but I think that over the years that on the federal level it's been messed with so many times. I have no idea where it stands.
I hope not. Anyway.
Yeah, yeah,
But I was saying the only thing that seems fair to me is just straight down the middle. If at the beginning it's nothing, at the end it's a person. The only thing that seems fair is down the middle.
yeah. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? People argue constantly about where that line is, but that's sort of partially what the pro-choice thing is saying to a degree. It's like, well, it's my life, I get to decide, but like then yeah, I'm so glad I don't have to deal with any of that shit, man. Like, I'm so glad I picked to try and be funny instead of trying to be fucking political. God damn, it
I'm
must be
very
such a ball ache, you know what I mean? Having to think
yeah.
about these fucking things and introduce a law that everyone's going to be okay with. Of course, not everyone's going to be okay with that shit. Like, no one can possibly agree with anyone else because one person thinks you're
Yeah.
killing a baby and the other one thinks you're getting rid of some detritus. You know what I
It's,
mean?
it's just, yeah, it's just never gonna. That's the kind of thing that's never gonna change. Confirmation bias will go crazy in that.
Yeah, yeah.
But
And
at the same time, though, with all of this kind of stuff that's been happening, I would kind of like to go into politics because you look at a lot of the stuff they're doing, and you're like, I like to try and stand up for the government and say, no, it makes it. You understand why it's hard for them and all that. Like it's a ball ache for boys, and it is, but God, they're just fucking up constantly.
yeah, Just constant
really-
idiots. Absolute fucking fools. Fools?
Fuse.
Fools.
They were saying the other day that Birmingham's like getting full up again, you know, like in the hospitals and that. And they were like talking about it as if, you know, we don't know what we're going to do if it gets too high and all that. Like, so yeah, because you haven't had months to prepare for this. It wasn't obvious that it was going to happen. It wasn't like you've built a separate fucking hospital up at the NEC.
Yeah, and named it after a fucking bird for some reason.
Was it what?
The Nightingale. What? Why?
I think it's Florence Nightingale.
Oh, that's probably right, innit?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's something I knew.
Fuck that.
It's rare.
I ain't never been about Florence Nightingale, and you know it, bruv.
Have you seen any of the things with the new Spider-Man film? Because you're into your Marvel films, aren't you?
Yeah, no, I haven't watched. I haven't sort of caught up on any of that stuff. I know the last one I watched was. Well, I've watched all of them apart from, I think, Ant-Man and the Wasp. So yeah, pretty big.
You may as well have watched all of them, really.
That's harsh.
Yeah. Ant-Man and the Wasp was just like pure filler to me.
Yeah. Hang on, sorry, I've got to blow my fucking nose.
Sorry.
Fuck's sake, man.
That's what happens when you take so much coke.
Yeah, well, you know, someone's got to have it.
Yeah, someone just got to. It's not gonna snort itself. So Spider-Man, there's like, you know, the whole Spider-Verse, multiverse kind of idea with it.
Yeah.
With the new MCU film, they're on about, well, they're not on about that side, but it seems like that must be the direction it's going in. Like something to do with Doctor Strange as well, because of his one coming out. Because they're having, I don't know if you heard, like, I think first one that was announced. Well, the first thing that ties into it was like, what's the news guy that came back again? What was his name?
Oh, J. Jonah Jameson.
That's it. Yeah. So he would be the first example, and then like after in that film, and then like a few weeks ago they announced that Jamie Foxx was coming back as Electro.
Really?
And now they've announced recently, or it's rumored, one of them, but it seems pretty like sure, you know, that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are going to be coming back to be Spider-Man in the same film too, and there's going to be a Miles Morales too.
Miles Morales, I'm really looking forward to. Like, yeah,
that would be cool though if they actually do
really
that.
It would be fucking cool. Like they've got the DLC for the Spider-Man game on PS4 coming out with Miles Morales as well on PS5.
Oh, okay.
God damn, I want to play that, but I can't get a fucking PS5 to save my fucking life.
That's one of the games that I want to get, because I haven't got a PS4 at the moment. I want to get a PS4 again solely for Spider-Man mainly. That's one of the ones I want to play more so than anything.
It's fucking good, man. It's so good.
And Avengers as well.
Yeah, I've heard bad things about the Avengers game, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah, the storyline's fine, apparently. Like, it's good enough. And the combat's fine for that storyline. But the thing is, they want it to be like Destiny or Anthem. So they want it to have, like, constant end content going on and on and on and on. And
like side quests and all that.
Yeah, apparently it's just repetitive and annoying. Like on Steam, it's only got 1,000 reoccurring players now.
Oh, okay. Do you reckon it will probably be something like the Batman games then? It sounds like that, the way you're describing it.
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? Like that repetitive kind of like gameplay, which I enjoyed. Like I liked them.
I really like the Batman games. Yeah, I've been playing through the Mad Max game again recently as well, which is
that's really good as well.
I fucking love that game.
Yeah.
Not enough people have played it. It's so goddamn good.
I'm sure I finished that.
Yeah,
I think I did. You're saying I did.
Did you kill Scrotus?
It sounds familiar, the bad guy. I'm sure I did. I just have a habit of like playing a game most of the way through. I do it with films and books and series too, where I don't want to finish them. so I put it off, and then I never finished them.
Yeah, I did that with the Mad Max game because I played through all of the storyline right up till the end, and then there was loads of like random places that I hadn't searched 100%. It's
Yeah.
like, well, I can't be having that shit. I've got to go now and find absolutely every single item in every single location and then drive over and defeat the boss. And by the end of it, I had like 10,000 excess scrap that I had no use for whatsoever. I had a
But you
car
have
that
to
was
do it, though.
impossible to beat. Oh, absolutely. It's the best, man.
That's what you do on
Best.
games. You should explore. Get your money out of it more than anything. That's how I look at
Hell
it.
yeah. Hell
Games are
yeah.
expensive now, man.
Yeah, although they do go too far. Like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Fuck me, just
Can't
it
keep up with
doesn't
them.
need to be that fucking long.
Well,
Like
it's just
it's hundreds of hours long to complete all of the content. Like 200 hours to complete all of the
Jesus.
content. I don't have the fucking time to
And they're
spend an
really
equivalent of
repetitive.
10 days playing in a game. You know what I mean?
Oh God. Yeah, and they're repetitive too. That's what I remember from them. I was playing Red Dead Redemption, Red Dead Redemption, the Undead Nightmare one.
Oh, classic version. Yeah, that shit's good.
Yeah, I've been playing it on the PS3 lately.
Yeah.
Well, not too lately. I've got to a point in it. I don't know what it is, and Dom had the same thing apparently. My goth mate,
Yeah.
that you do some missions, and then all of a sudden, just no missions come off. There's been no ending to any storylines. Nothing happened. Just stopped.
That's weird.
Yeah. To be fair, I
I
don't know
don't
why I haven't googled it actually.
I never had that issue myself. I mean, it might be worth. It probably is worth googling. And I mean,
Yeah.
if hopefully you've got some multiple saves on there so that you can go back far enough to sort it out.
There's got to be something. There's like probably like a little tiny bit to a mission or something that I forgot about. Some little tiny things somewhere.
Sometimes you sort of have to meet random people at random moments as well, because like I remember at one point near the end, you randomly come across the dude wearing the top hat and like the black suit and stuff like that. And he sort of talks to you like, "Hey, John." It might have something to do with him, but in the zombie version, I don't know.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because like,
All I know is that it's
unless
really cool to shoot those motherfuckers in the fucking head. Every single one of the zombies is just bang.
yeah. But I'm
Satisfying.
terrible at games though. In all fairness, I'm playing Devil May Cry at the moment. Devil May Cry 4, I think it is the one where you got you're playing as the other guy most of the time. Neo, I think his name.
Yeah.
Nero.
Yeah.
Nero.
Yeah. Or yeah. God damn
Yeah.
it! Sorry, I've got to blow my fucking nose seriously because this is getting
Don't worry.
annoying. It won't stop.
I tried recently. I was looking. What I was going to do a subject for the podcast. I decided against it, but I was going to look at this conspiracy theory, and it was one that I didn't agree with, and I decided I was going to look into it to see how. I just take another look into it again, you know, like with open eyes or whatever they call it, open-minded,
Yeah.
and see how I feel about it. I quickly realised that no, I don't believe it. It just doesn't make sense to me. But it's so popular at the moment. It's keeps popping up in like articles and stuff. Like it's happened again recently. Simulation theory.
Okay. So the universe is a simulation.
Yeah, there's always like it feels like it's every couple of months there's like some scientists saying it's 50-50 whether it's going to happen. Sorry, whether it's already happened.
Yeah.
Like, is it though? Is it really? How?
Well, it depends what kind of simulation theory it is, because if it's the one about our universe being an entirely simulated place, then technically it's according to some scientists it's more likely to be simulated than not simulated, because if you can get to the point in a universe where you can simulate a universe perfectly within a computer system, then in that universe someone will create a perfect simulated universe in the computer system, and then blah, 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 blah. And by that point,
If they
you've got
can,
one
someone will.
starting one, an infinite amount of simulated universes. It's more likely that you're simulated than not.
But there's a lot of assumptions there though.
There's a lot of assumption there. There's also the sort of assumption that you wouldn't need an infinite amount of space to store an infinite amount of information. If you see what I mean, like a universe is an
Yeah,
infinite space. To create an infinite space, you have to have an infinite amount of data storage. And unless you've got an infinite universe full of nothing but floppy disks, you can't simulate that universe potentially. I don't know.
that's good. I'm still trying to get my head around that one.
Yeah.
I feel like I got most of it. The floppy disk bit confused me.
Yeah,
I
I'm
was
just
like,
saying that
what?
basically, like, whatever storage device it is, to have an infinite universe stored within any form of data storage device, you would need an infinite amount of that data storage device.
Yeah,
If you see what I mean. So the
I
computer
think
would
so.
have
Yeah,
to be infinitely big to create an infinitely like big simulation that was actually a completely like
yeah.
whole
So
universe.
I mean, that's the thing, though. At the same time, I saw something that was talking kind of about that.
Mm.
One of the arguments for it that it wouldn't need to create like because you're on about it wouldn't have enough space to hold a full simulated world
Yeah.
universe.
Universe, yeah.
Yeah, but but then again, yeah, it depends on like you said about which kind of simulation theory you're on about. Because I realise that there's different kinds, whether it's just you in some place like Ready Player One or the whole world or something.
Yeah. Sorry, I've got notifications going.
That's cool. Yeah, I'll get you that one. Yeah, so
Yes.
I can't remember for which one it was, but they were talking about like imagine if there was a table leg next to you or something. It's all about it would be perception, so they wouldn't need to create the whole universe, only the universe that you can see to, basically. So the atoms that hold, say, if it was like a thick piece of wood, like the leg, the atoms inside wouldn't be there; it would be hollow until you open it up, and they'd only create the
Yeah,
atoms in the leg
that's the
when they open it up.
holographic sort of thing, I suppose. But even
Well,
then, you
that's
still
kind of what
need.
simulation is, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but even then, you'd still need that image stored. I don't know. Maybe, I mean, there's algorithms as well, and like the entire universe is basically just fractals. And if you go to Nikola Tesla, then he says everything is just energy um, and what was it? Energy and frequencies or waveforms, basically.
Yeah.
Um, light is both a particle and a wave at the same time. There's
See, that's what all that kind of stuff feels like. It gives more credence to the whole idea of like the um the
you ever
idea
sort
of
of
beings on
sorry, go
other
ahead.
dimensions and that. What
Yeah,
were you gonna say?
you ever sort of follow a train of thought, get to a point, and you're like, God damn it! I wish I was smart enough to make the next jump. You know
No,
what I mean? I was
I'm
on
smart
I
enough.
was on a roll there, and I was thinking about something, and it was like, if I could just, and it was like, nah, 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 nah. It's like, it's
Yeah,
like I don't know. It's
just when you
like
get to the point
the
where you have to be aware of the fact that you're trying to work it out and put the pieces
yeah.
together.
I think it's more like the bit in The Simpsons where like Homer goes down the tries to jump across the cavern or the chasm, and ends
Oh,
up falling down and hurting
Springfield
himself. It's
Gorge, yeah.
basically more than that. It's like I can see the edge. Oh fuck! I've just failed.
I'm gonna make it. This is the greatest day in the world.
Yeah,
Ah!
yeah, exactly.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't,
Um,
I don't know, man. I'm slightly drunk, which is great. And
just, just
yeah.
that's not never a bad thing. I was going to ask you actually earlier, like what because you've been doing the same kind of thing as me. You've been trying to like stay in as much as you can, can't you?
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
yeah,
So, what kind of stuff have you been doing in that time? Like, I've been more like other than getting. I've been getting very high quite a lot.
yeah.
Been doing a lot of that,
I
and
respect that move.
thank you. I respect the alcohol.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
No, I've been going with both of those. There's nothing I won't do to try and stay sane at the moment, which is
that's a lot of what
easier
it
said
needs
than
to
done.
be. Yeah,
Yeah, easier said than done.
mindfulness is a very important thing at the moment, though.
Yeah, I keep trying to do stuff for my Princess Trust business side of the sketch show stuff, which is like trying to get editing jobs going and
What is all that then? I didn't know what you meant.
oh, I've got Princess Trust. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
the Prince. Wait, no, I'm thinking of the Prince of Wales thing.
yeah, it's the Prince of Wales who he
Same
sets
thing,
up
yeah.
a trust to help young people start up businesses. And I was literally
Oh,
right underneath the wire of what was available. So I went in and did the whole course with them and came up with a business plan. Went to them and I've got it approved. So I've got to launch the business now, and it's basically going to be a production company. But to earn money in the meantime, going to do editing
mm,
jobs for other people
mm.
and potentially do. Like voiceover work for people, that kind of stuff on the
Yeah,
side,
yeah.
whilst also trying to do the first party stuff, which is post-apocalyptic metal treehouse, and then bewildering tales. And once we're out of lockdown, trying to do
I think I lost you then.
it was something I looked at just after university because I ended up having a shitty time after university and didn't know what I was going to do with myself. And I started looking at how can I start a business, and this was back when I was like 24.
Yeah,
And nothing ever occurred, obviously. And then I got to 28, started the stand up, and started getting more confident. I was like, "Fuck it, I'll do the business as well." You know.
yeah. You need to get to that bit. That's how it was for me. Anyway, I kind of got to you get to a point like where you don't know what you know. You're trying to figure out for a while what direction. As soon as you get that direction, it's sweet. You know where you're going. Then
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
start doing
Exactly.
the stuff. Yeah, it's just yeah. It's good. It feels good at doing it once you realise.
Yeah. The problem is, I think a lot of people. A lot of people want to do something, but as you know, don't know what it is.
Yeah,
And I think a lot of people get put off of trying to find out what it is entirely.
yeah,
You know, I know a lot of friends who had great ideas of what they wanted to do, and nothing really
yeah.
much happened.
I mean,
Um,
it's one of them as well. I think a lot of people like to do that kind of thing as well normally, or to figure out a direction. You know, a lot of it's to do like mindfulness too. You have to like really take a look at yourself, don't you?
yeah, yeah, you
And
do.
a lot of people don't like doing that, and it's not easy to do sometimes as well. Sometimes,
Yeah,
yeah,
especially if you know, if you've gone through some shitty times and it's sort of stuck with you.
yeah.
You
Well,
know, it's
you've probably had no choice but to look at yourself in that case.
yeah.
A lot of the
I think
time, you know.
I think that's healthy though, and I think
Yeah, yeah.
a lot of people don't end up doing it because for whatever reason. Um,
It's getting
and
better now, like in regards, especially in regards to guys having like mental health help and stuff. Less of a taboo
yeah,
with it, a lot less now, I
it's
reckon.
it's important as well. That I've got friends who just won't ever want to do therapy, and I've got friends who said they'd never do therapy and then ended up doing therapy. And I think,
Mm.
like, I tried antidepressants and things like that. They never really worked for me that well. But talking to someone about all the fucking nasty shit that goes on in your life and
Yeah,
unpacking it piece by piece, and then so that you can objectively look at it with someone else, that makes it so much easier to put shit into context and allow you
yeah,
to then sort of go, right, okay, then what's my next plan? Because I always wanted to try stand up. I was always writing little bits here and there. I always wanted to do the sketch show. I was always doing silly voices. Um, and it just sort of took a bit of time getting all of the other shit out of the way
yeah,
to get to a healthy place or a healthier place. I'm not a goddamn genius at this stuff. I
Well,
still fucking fuck up all the time. But
I think that's one thing you realise as well when you look at that stuff. Like, no one's ever perfect.
yeah, and that's
And
the
no,
wonderful thing.
I don't even know what
And
that
there's
would be
also
anyway.
yeah,
Perfect
and there's
depends on
also
the situation you're in.
yeah, yeah, and also the imposter thing. You know that sort of feeling like I don't know
Imposter
what the fuck I'm
syndrome.
doing. It's imposter. I think it's imposter syndrome or something like that. It's a
Yeah, I
common
feel like
thing
I've
where
heard it.
people get in somewhere and they go like, "Oh, I got this new job," or like, "I'm doing stand up for the first time. I'm finally doing stand up," and you think to yourself, "Oh, but do I actually deserve to be here? I'm just blagging this. I don't think anyone realizes I'm just blagging it." It's like
Yeah,
everyone's fucking blagging it. Everyone's blagging
yeah,
it. Not just
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Everyone is blagging it.
That's just a
Yeah.
form of anxiety from the sound of it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, because I felt like I've felt that, but like to me, I feel like anxiety as well is quite a normal thing that everyone feels. It's not
Yeah.
like some people may suffer from it more or something, but it's something that it's just a natural reaction. I think, like being
Yeah.
scared of I don't know, a giant sumo wrestler falling on you. Scare me,
Yeah, it's
and
if
that's
you've got
natural.
too much shit to be thinking about at the same time, your brain can't quite handle it, you know. And
That's what I was going to say a second ago. That's one thing that antidepressants did for me. Like,
mm,
not so much the depressed side of it and that, but like in regards to just my mind just is in overdrive all the time. Like it still is
mm,
now, but I feel like I can control it more now.
yeah,
And that's
yeah.
one thing I couldn't do before. That's why I feel
I
like I'm
think
good at like coming up with all this shit now.
yeah, I think getting older helps as well. I couldn't have done any of this shit when I was younger.
Yeah,
Like I would have just crumbled under the fucking pressure. But I think gradually as you get older, I can't remember where I saw it. It was an article, and it was talking about people who are really really depressed for a long time or have a lot of anxiety for a very long time.
yeah,
Your brain sort of eventually gets used to it. So you can actually sort of get less depressed over time by just being incredibly fucking depressed. Because your brain just goes, "Oh, for fuck's sake, fine then, just be like that."
that makes the weird thing is that makes a lot of sense as well, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
and it apparently desensitizes you to certain things, so you give less of a shit what other
Yeah,
people think about you.
it's
You
like what they say
give
that. Yeah, sorry.
yeah, so you give less of a shit about what people think about you, and you sort of you're more likely to sort of to see something like depressing and upsetting and laugh at it instead
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you've desensitized yourself to all the nasty shit because you've been through all that nasty shit in your own head multiple times.
And a lot of
Yeah,
time laughing about it as well can work the other way too. Like you can desensitize you to it as well as soon as you find it funny, which is a
yeah,
thing,
yeah,
a nice thing that you feel like you can do in comedy.
yeah. Oh, laughing at something horrific is the best thing to do.
Yeah.
Like that was
And
the
everyone
first
does
thing
it.
I did.
It's the
Yeah, that was
normal
the
thing to do. Comedy's
it's
about pushing the
absolutely
boundaries.
yeah, and like the first thing I did when I did stand up was talking about tearing my ACL. You know, that fucking horrendous pain, all the
For some
nasty
reason, I
shit that
thought you were
happened.
going to say, when you said tearing my I thought you were going to say anus.
Oh, I did actually talk about that's part of that scare. That's what part of that whole thing is. I talk about the 3 different times I've been in hospital.
You told your
Um,
anus?
oh no, no, it's better than that, mate. I'm trying to remember how it goes. It's like, um, yeah, the first time I ended up in hospital was, oh, no, I can't remember what it was. Yeah, the second one was basically I shit myself a new arsehole. I didn't know you could do that. It turns out you can, right? And the worst part is they call it a fistula, which I don't know about you, but to me that sounds like a horrific pornographic act. You know,
Yeah.
either
But
that,
what?
either either that, or some horrific pornography based around Dracula.
What was it called again?
It was a fistula. A
Fistula. Yeah.
fistula.
Okay.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, it's
spatula.
horrific. Oof,
Could be
oof.
smacking a butthole with a spatula. while you're
No,
biting
but
their neck.
essentially what happens is you have, this is going to get gross, by the way. You have a hemorrhoid. The
I was going to
hemorrhoid
ask you
fucking-
exactly what happened. So
Yeah, you have the hemorrhoid pops. That's your asshole. You've now got a hole outside of it there.
So when you say hemorrhoid, is that like something
So-
pushing out from inside?
No, well, a hemorrhoid is basically like a blood vessel around your asshole that when you push too hard sort of bursts, inflames, and becomes like a little like nubbin thing underneath your asshole.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've all
yeah,
felt
now-
it. Everyone's got an arse. If anyone's out there like, I don't know what
Yeah.
you mean. I've never
Yeah.
You've got a bum.
Yeah. Here's the thing though. If you burst those, which can happen and is fucking horrible,
That
there's
pile.
a 50
or-
yeah, there's a 50% chance that it will then turn into a fistula, which is, as I say, so you've got your hemorrhoid here, this is your bunghole, okay, hemorrhoid
Yeah.
around the outside.
Okay,
the
yeah.
hemorrhoid bursts, and now you've got a hole from the inside going around the outside. You now have two arseholes. Except every time you shit, it doesn't just go out of here. It also goes through here, through flesh, and makes your asshole burn like someone stabbed you in the dick.
That is so weird. I'm still trying to get my head around it because you said around the side. I'm like, the side of what? Around the side of like your actual ass, the skin.
Around this, your actual asshole now has a separate tube that sticks, like, from inside of your ass, goes around and to the outside of your ass, outside into sort of the edge of
So
the
it's kind of like a
tube.
moat.
Almost, yeah.
Okay, yeah, more moaty rather than.
It's
Yeah.
more like a secret passage for your shit to burn you to death.
Yeah, because I imagine you'd get infected, wouldn't you, if you just left that? Like,
It
that would be some
doesn't-
kind of infection.
It doesn't actually get infected, but well, it can do. But the worst bit is just the absolute agony when you take a shit. I'm not joking. It felt
Shit
like
you not.
yeah. It felt like someone was stabbing a hot soldering iron into my asshole.
I mean, did you have to? Could you not just taken loads of laxatives?
Oh no, that would make it worse.
No, I mean not laxatives. Sorry, like the ones that like make it like water. You know.
Yeah, no, that's a laxative. It would just make it worse.
Oh.
Yeah, because the problem is when you take a load of laxatives, you get a bit more acidic stuff in there, and the acidic stuff is what makes it really, really, really
Of course. Yeah. Carl, okay. I still feel like I'd rather that, dude. Because if you had a proper shit, wouldn't it like pull it apart more? Like, what did they do to it? You know, how do you?
Right. So you want to know how you fix it?
Yeah.
Right, so you've got your arsehole.
I think I better know just in case. You know.
Yeah, you've got your outer tube from the inside of Uranus to your outside Uranus, your little fistula there. They just take a knife and they go, thuck.
Oh, so it's like a tube.
Yeah, there's a little tube going outside, yeah, like that. And then they just
Oh.
cut it. They cut it to the tube and they let that heal.
Okay.
So now you have to shit for 3 weeks through a cut open arsehole.
Oh. It's basically sounds like an arsehole that's now got an umbilical cord. You can have a belly button on your butt.
It's not quite that. It's not quite that dangly. It's all inside, but yeah. Oh mate,
It's dangly. What kind of belly button do you have? Dangly belly button.
No, that's what...
That's a penis. Woody.
Oh shit! Yeah, no, that's a good point. I'm
That's amazing, Nathan.
a dangly belly button. That's an umbilical cord. Yeah.
Oh, fucking amazing.
You see this child walking around with a dangly belly button. Suddenly.
I was imagining, for some reason, then I was imagining Deadpool when he's a child. No, not when he's a child. Sorry, when he's tiny and he's growing back his legs. That's it, isn't it? Gets his legs cut off and then he grows them back.
Yeah. Oh.
Or is it that he becomes a kid with the time travel stuff? I can't remember now. I just remember there's a tiny penis in it. That's the whole point of like the whole scene, basically.
Yeah. That's
That's going to annoy me now. Ryan
Which
Reynolds'
one-
penis
which
is going to
one?
annoy me. I think it was the
Which
second one that was in.
The second one.
Yeah.
See, I can't remember the second one that well. I can only remember the first one well.
I think
I
I preferred the second one.
Really? I don't know. I think the first one had more of a sort of a charm to it, if you know what I mean. The second one felt more like a bigger action movie type thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know what you mean. Yeah. I suppose it
There
just
was
depends
more
if
of a
you like that.
heart. There was more heart and soul to the first one, I think.
Yeah.
I also missed the fact that they sort of took the chick out of it as well.
But yeah, she's the one. If I remember correctly, now she's the one that's in Gotham as well.
I don't know. I've literally never watched Gotham.
Really?
I've meant to. Yeah, I've meant to, but I never got round to it.
I'm on a watch through of it at the moment. I was on about it earlier, yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday because yeah, you should watch it, man. Have you got Netflix?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
All 5 seasons on there, mate. You should definitely watch it.
Yeah. I've got so many things I've got to watch though. That's the problem. I've got Gotham now. I've got to watch. I've got Battlestar Galactica. I've got to watch. I've got Witcher.
Oh yeah, with the Henry Cavill one.
Yeah. I've got Gods and American Gods to watch. I've got.
I've been
Bad
debating
Omens
whether to watch that.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool, and I'm always fairly up for any Ian McShane. He's pretty badass in most things.
And Good Omens is good as well.
Yeah, I've seen 2 episodes of Good Omens. This is the problem. I always start a series. I'll get 2 episodes into it, and then I'll just fuck it off.
Yeah.
The last one that I actually watched all the way through, out of just sheer determination, was Altered Carbon Season 1. I haven't watched Season 2.
Is that any good?
Season 1 was fucking brilliant. I've heard a lot of people say Season 2 just got a bit nebulous and weird as opposed to the first one, which had a more solid story and a sort of a more tight idea of what it was trying to be.
Yeah. But what kind of thing is it? Because it's one of those. I kept looking at it, and it was hard to figure out what it was. You know, if I'd like it. What kind of
It's sort of part political intrigue, part like sci-fi dystopia kind of thing.
Yeah. What kind of show would you say it's like? You know, ignoring the setting and stuff and the time and the
It's hard to say, really, because it's trying to be a sort of detective show.
Okay, yeah.
About this one one particular case, whilst also trying to be about a guy who's a freedom fighter, who has changed into a different sleeve, and that's what they're called in the thing. Is like you don't have a body, you have a sleeve.
Oh, okay. Well, like
you've got sort of a thing in the back of your neck which contains all of the data that is you. Basically, your memories, your thoughts, your personality, it's all stored in this chip in your neck.
That'd be like androids, wouldn't it? Is that androids or
not
cyborg?
Yeah, not quite, because you can have artificial bodies, and they do have those in the show, but for the most part, it's like grown bodies, grown to specifications. So there's people with extra sensitive genitals, so they can enjoy sex more. There's people with gills built in, so they can swim underwater. Like fucking weird shit.
Oh, so it's like customizable, like natural. Cyborgs or like just like a natural skin, and then I could imagine that would be the kind of stuff that I imagine would happen. Not all the simulation stuff, like a bit. Yeah. Shockingly, that's only started since the Matrix came about. Says it all, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't get into how much I disagree with that.
You just don't want to be part of a simulation, do you? You don't want to be a character in a SimCity game, because you know what happens to characters in SimCity games. People end up throwing fucking meteorites at them, and no one wants that.
Or you could go swimming and someone could remove the ladder.
Oh fuck!
That kills them.
That was the most evil thing to do to any sim character. Apart from to set the entire place on fire. I did like doing that quite a lot.
I see
You
it's
just put a
surprising
lot of
then.
stuff around the fire, buy a cheap fire and light it, and just let it happen.
It is surprising that they never brought out like a serial killer version of it.
It is a
That'd be
bit.
good. You
It
could
would have
create
been
like
interesting.
your own madhouse.
A little Buffalo Bill style well
Yeah.
in the middle of your basement. You know, you just get proper good with it.
You can go sort of visit other people's houses. You know,
Yeah,
bring
yeah,
back
yeah.
something with you.
Like the
That film.
person in a sack, just like thump. Oh shit! Why has no one made that game? Why has
That'd be
no
great.
one made the sim game where you have to be a serial killer? And it's just like
Meal killer.
you start off, you're a normal, like average everyday murderer, you know. You got yourself a knife, you stab someone up. Ooh, okay, what we're gonna do next? Okay, we've got to step it up now.
The prologue can be your trigger, and then the rest of it's
Yeah.
you just working out your way.
I think that works quite well.
Have you ever watched Dexter?
I watched the second season through, I think. I didn't
Wait,
manage to
just
get
the
to
second
Lithgow.
season.
First and second.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I got to Lithgow unless Lithgow was in season 2.
I can't even remember what that was. Like, it's been a while since I watched it.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
there's a new season coming out of it. That's why I was thinking of it.
That's I saw that, and that's going to be interesting because like the vast majority of people hated the way that shit ended.
Yeah. So you know how it ended, then, at least.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of
I mean,
people seem to hate it, but I think it's hard to ever end a show properly.
it is.
I
Yeah.
mean,
It's
it's certainly not
obviously
as bad as the Game of Thrones shit got as well. And I haven't
exactly where I was
seen
going to
Game of
go.
Thrones, but yeah, that shit looked like it was fucking painful to watch.
You know,
Just
like I don't agree with all the choices they made. Um, but at the same time, that's kind of the style with with Game of Thrones. You know, it's always what you don't want, what you wouldn't expect to happen when you look at normal storylines and how they would go.
I sort of get that. I sort of get that, but at the same time, I saw a good breakdown of it, which was basically saying, yeah, that's fine and everything to have the surprise. I mean, that's what the Red Wedding was about. That's what
Yeah,
this, that, and the other bits were about. But that one is so like a lot of what they did was so out of left field because like George
yeah,
R. R. Martin had set up all of these things like this guy's going to be king, this guy's going to be this guy's going to, and it was all sort of leading somewhere, and then they just went and change direction
yeah.
and change direction, and
Well, he wanted like another 4 seasons apparently.
I
George R. R.
mean
Martin.
to finish that story off properly, you probably needed at least 2 seasons, but those guys
Yeah,
were so desperate to quit that and move on to the Star Wars job, which they then lost. Like,
is that what they were supposed to be doing?
yeah, they're not working on it anymore. I don't think it's someone else who's picked it up because they
I
got fired.
I don't even think I did know that they were.
Yeah.
Yeah. God knows why they did that though. There wasn't never really much of an explanation because they even made it. They made the like last 2 seasons shorter as well, didn't they? So they had more budget or something.
Well, that's the excuse they use, but the
Yeah,
thing is, like the budget thing is negligible because if they
yeah.
managed to get that series to be a fucking hit, then they would have just got more budget and
And
then more budget.
it was the biggest show in the world, man. But
Yeah,
definitely that
yeah,
whole time it was around.
yeah,
Even
and
for a while after.
those guys seem to fucking just launch that thing directly into the ground.
Oh yeah, with that, yeah. I mean, it was good. It was entertaining. It was fun. But some of the decisions were, like you said, very much out of left field. But there was, to be fair, some major like plot holes as well. Actually,
Mm.
like yeah, there was one bit where this big fleet of like ships like jump onto Daenerys, I think it is, and they just kind of appear out of nowhere, basically, or she appears out of nowhere. Someone appears out of nowhere,
Yeah. Oh,
and
that was the other thing I saw
how
where
quick she gets
people.
somewhere.
That's it, yeah. They were going like, oh, it took this person this many books and this much time to get from here to here.
Yeah.
She just goes, "Ha ha! I'm suddenly here." It's like, how the fuck?
To get to the north, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
where,
basically in Lord of the Rings equivalent, it would be like going from the Shire to Mordor in like half an hour.
even though don't they kind of like end up flying the eagles back, and it's like, well, why couldn't you have just flew them there?
There was always I saw something on the internet at one point where someone said that Gandalf said, "Fly, you fools," and that was a coded message
Yeah.
that they were supposed to go to the top of the mountain and meet eagles.
I heard something about that, and I don't know where it was. Like, did he actually say those words, or?
That's the thing, because I went back and rewatched the movie, and he doesn't say "Fly, you fools" there. He says "Run, you fools," I believe. I mean, who the fuck knows? This could be some Mandela effect type shit, and everything is just a quantum weird universe mix. I don't know.
The Mandela effect, I think, is one of the few things which I was surprised never mentioned it when I was looking at the simulation theory. That's a good, a good
example.
argument for it.
Yeah. The
Makes sense.
Mandela effect's fucked, man. I'm fascinated by that. There's a film called The Mandela Effect as well, which I really wanted to watch, but I never got round to it. Where a guy thinks that he can get his daughter back from a horrific car accident because he keeps on seeing the breaks in the universe and the Mandela effect taking effect, and it's fucking interesting, man.
Yeah,
really interesting.
I'm trying to think of some of the ones, like, some of the famous ones. There's the New Zealand, isn't there?
Yeah, Bernstein Bears. That's the one where it's either the Bernstein Bears or the Bernstein Bears or the Berenstein. I can't remember what it was. There's like different versions that people remember.
Yeah.
I
forget what the actual original Mandela one was, because what named it? Something to do with him dying in prison.
Some people genuinely thought that he died in prison in 1980 something, and like when he was released, everyone was going, "What?" But he died in prison. Loads of people were.
Oh, then okay.
Yeah, it was really really interesting. There's another one as well that I can't remember off the top of my head. But it's just whether it's true or not, or whether it's just a sort of cultural delusion where people thought something happened and then it was different. Like, what does that mean for the way like humanity can be like manipulated?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, there's these body language kind of people that I watch, and they were talking about before how every time you access a memory, you edit it at the same time.
Yeah.
So you think about it like that, yeah.
Yeah, and eyewitness testimony is one of the most pathetic things you can use in a court, because for the vast majority of people, they don't remember things correctly.
Yeah, people don't remember shit correctly at all. So it makes you question, like, when I learned that and realised how true it was, it makes you question all your memories.
Yeah.
And your memories are you.
Yeah. I mean, what can you say actually happened to you at that stage? Like, there are crucial things in my past, as you say, that make you who you are. And like, could you imagine having and that's the thing, like, could you imagine having something that was so crucial to you in your entire life, and you went and talked to someone, and as you were explaining it to them, they just went, "Oh yeah, no, but it didn't happen that way, it went like this instead," and then you're like, fuck. Like,
I guarantee everyone's had that happen, but obviously with smaller stuff, then usually.
Yeah, this is the thing. It's like, at what level is like a really really important memory? Like, is it more likely to stay the same, or is it less likely to stay the same? Is it because it's so important to you? Is it more likely to stay that way?
I mean, that's debatable. I suppose if you're talking about it more, it might be more likely to change, I'm
Because
thinking that.
every time you access it, it changes it, as you say. Yeah.
Yeah, and you all doing that. Like, what makes me think of that is I was watching them body language thing, doing talking to this guy who saw aliens when he was a kid, basically, and his mum did as well. The whole town did.
Yeah.
And he was talking about it, and they were saying by different ways you look, like, because you look certain ways, and it's like you're remembering something, and if you look another way, it might mean you're, being
Imagining
deceptive.
something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like I've learned, I always look up. I've realised that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were saying with this guy, like he wasn't being deceptive, but he admits to himself he's talked about it so much in the story, he feels like bits have changed. He's not sure about certain parts, so he admits it. But yeah, it makes sense, and that's obviously was a huge thing to him. So
That's what makes the released footage of UFOs way more interesting as well. It's like,
yeah,
oh, there you can see that shit immediately. That's right there.
and that's one great thing about simulation theory, actually, because they kind of key in that theory can key in everything, like because it's been on my brain like today because I was looking at stuff.
yeah.
So everything you say, I think about that, and it kind of works with it. Like aliens is another example they use as to why, they say all these things flying about. That's actually like the other alien us, or whatever made us, or the simulation, just looking at us in
I
our
mean, it
little
could sort
petri
of
dish.
explain how those things are seemingly able to break the laws of reality. Because if you're in a simulation, you could just like activate God mode. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like
I mean
just
they don't break
no-clip
the
your
laws of
way
physics
through the
though.
universe. Oh, that'd be amazing if you could just activate no-clip and just walk through fucking walls. Oh shit.
I mean they don't break laws of physics though, do they? Like the tic
Well,
tac and that.
no, they don't. They technically not. I mean, there's ways people can say it works, but like moving that fast within an atmosphere, that's something special,
Yeah, if
especially
you're
without
actually
showing.
if
Yeah,
you are actually doing it without anything in between you as well, like seems like there's a bubble there, but
yeah, that's the
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
That's the thing. I like, but even that bubble could be like maybe that is created because these things can just edit the universe around them and just go click, 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 boom, boom.
Well, I suppose once you get to a certain point, like you could argue as well that once you get the technology, even if it's not a simulation, you could edit the world anyway. You could edit the cells. You could edit if string
Yeah,
theory is a thing. You could use that for teleporting. You could edit that way because if
yeah.
you go from one to somewhere else, and there's going to be a nothing at that other place, so you've got to do yeah, a
It's
whole whack
interesting.
of things. It's really interesting to think about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, this has been a deep podcast so far. It's
Yeah,
been an
you know.
interesting one, man.
That's one thing I was looking forward to having a chat with you because I know we could talk about loads of random shit because
Yeah,
you're the science fan as well.
yeah, yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
that's fascinating. It's like there's
something said
the
recently that time travel was possible, but I can't remember what that was. Some
oh,
scientists again.
it's absolutely
Hmm.
possible. It's completely possible. But you've just got to do some very fucking dodgy things to make it happen. Apparently, um,
And then you've
time
got to
travel through the
argue.
future. Yeah, time travel to the future is very easy.
Yeah,
Very, very easy.
yeah, I just did it.
Yeah. So I think there's a way to like there's something to do with
it.
gravity and the way you place yourself in relation to gravity. It's like when you're on a planet, you've got a different time to when you're in space. That's why satellite
Yeah,
clocks have to constantly readjust to make sure that they're on the same basis as us.
and that
Because
thing in like Interstellar was legit, isn't it? When they're on that one planet and the time,
yeah,
how time works
exactly.
differently. That is real.
Yeah, yeah.
Apparently,
And so they're sort of putting themselves almost in stasis by being on this thing
Mm.
that's close enough to the planet, but at the same time, like their friend out there is going like every minute for them is a year or so for him. That's fucking
It is crazy to really get your head around, but it also
yeah,
shows it gives complete credence though, yeah, to the fact that you can imagine you can definitely time travel then because it's relative. It's not really there. It's kind of a
Yeah,
concept more like
yeah.
gravity, arguably as well. But I don't really
Well,
know
that's the thing.
that part.
No, that's the thing. Gravity, time, space. It's all combined.
Yeah, the
Um,
fourth dimension, only that one.
yeah, yeah. I mean, with the thing is, everyone says space and time. The vast majority of
Space time.
scientists say space time exactly
Yeah,
because it's the same thing. You can't have one without the other. Which
and
is
that's
which is
where is
sorry,
that
mate. Go
where
ahead.
you can argue that like all things take up the same space effectively as well and don't at the same time, or everything is in one. I forget which
Yeah,
is which. It's so hard to get your head around.
yeah. I mean, there's a theory about the universe that it's all a holographic projection, which would explain why everything can be so massively infinite and big, whilst also I think I can't remember what it was.
But arguably, I mean,
Damn it.
we wouldn't know any different if, say, if it was simulated. We wouldn't know any different if it's all
We
flat
would,
after a
yeah,
certain point. Could
we'd
it be
all
a
have
picture?
no idea. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, if someone is living in a 2D world, they don't know the third dimension exists. I mean, it's not technically possible to have a living thing in a 2D world, but there you go.
yeah. I was
Um,
trying to think if there was anything like that the other day, and I came to the conclusion, no, I don't think it would work.
right.
And
I've got a question here, right? In your mind, because in my mind, right, if you could get a truly two-dimensional object, like
hmm.
a flat plane that was truly two-dimensional in a three-dimensional world, it would cut through anything like a knife through butter.
Oh, you mean if it's completely?
If it's completely 100% 2D, but also has a solid form.
Is it or isn't it though? Because to be truly 2D, it could never have any kind of edge. So, do you know what I mean?
This is
Technically,
the
it couldn't
thing,
be there too.
but at the same time, it is.
Yeah. So no, maybe just can't exist then.
So can the blood go through 2D, or is the 2D thing an object that stops the blood? It's like
Yeah, maybe it is like that, like because we couldn't comprehend it. Like the idea of like there being what I kind of believe more like in regards to ghosts. You know, that it's like a fourth dimension of people in the fourth dimension all around us all the time, and we don't know what alternate reality is, but for that
I
anyway.
yeah, I think there's a thing about that I heard somewhere about ghosts potentially being like a quantum echo almost, if you know what I mean. Something that happened that was so like traumatic or something that it sort of
Yeah.
repeats itself over and over and over again.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like
Um,
I think I've heard it called stone tape theory.
yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
I think that's the one anyway.
Oh, it's
And
most wanted.
to a certain extent, that sort of makes sense. Uh, but I don't know. I don't believe that stuff quite enough to sort of put
Yeah.
all my eggs in that basket. The thing that makes me interested about
Well,
it though is um like Auschwitz and Dachau and like concentration camps where people go.
hmm.
The vast majority of people who go there say that they can feel a difference in the air, that you can feel this sort
Yeah.
of palpable tension in the air. Um,
I do reckon
a
there's
lot of people
energy
just
left there.
cry when they get there.
That's why I also believe that everyone is psychic to a point, but I also believe that the people that are like, "Oh, I'm a psychic, I know this, so he's
Oh, they're
doing this, he's
bullshit.
over
Yeah,
there." Yeah, they're just complete bullshit.
yeah,
You can't
yeah,
have complete certainty. If there's anything to that, it's just the idea of letting yourself not think anything and react without
yeah.
knowing why you're reacting. I
I
guess.
mean, think about the amount of times that you've been thinking about a friend, and then that friend suddenly calls you, or you think about a friend and you're like, I wonder how he's doing. You call him up and it's like, mate, I've had the worst fucking day.
Yeah.
Like that that
Yeah.
that. I mean, it's all well and good saying that the vast majority of times you don't get that, but we're not claiming that. We're not claiming that every time I pick up the phone or phone my friend. Is that? But every so often you'll get that thing of like, nah, I reckon that dude needs to talk to someone right now. I'm gonna give him a call.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, completely. Like you hear it a lot with like wives with like partners or with like moms with their kids. So like I knew
Yeah.
something had happened or
Yeah.
something just didn't feel right.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely credence to that, in my opinion. Anyway,
I think so. I think there's something to it. It's like the thing of
I just don't buy
uh
the. I they're all there, but I don't buy that they're dead people, like the ghosts and stuff as well.
yeah, no, I don't think there's a spirit of a person that's still like functioning without a body around it. I don't think that's how
Yeah.
it works. But
The only way that would happen would
that
be
was
if
it.
maybe it's the stone tape thing. That might be legit.
Yeah.
And that could be the dead body, but there's not going to be an actively dead person walking around.
Yeah, I think I told you this last time regarding the psychic thing.
Hmm.
That there's evidence for hive minds in animals that don't use hive minds. So, for example, ants are well, they're not hive mind, for example, but they
They
act as
basically
a
are.
hive. They basically are. They all take the same information. They act as a whole.
They just have
Um,
different ways of communicating it, I guess.
exactly. But
Weird
this is the
ways.
thing. I think I've told you this before, but there was a thing where sheep in Australia started rolling over cattle grids. So instead of like walking up to it and going, "Oh shit, I can't do this," one of them sort of tucked his feet and rolled over it. Right.
Wow, okay. Yeah.
A few months later, all of the sheep were doing it, right? But not just on that farm,
Okay.
not just in Australia. In
Okay.
various places throughout the world, mostly around Australia, I believe, sheep had started to stop and roll over
Yeah.
and roll over. Without, they couldn't have talked to each other. These sheep were not being
Could
transported from farm to farm.
could you just argue that they all just could have coincidentally evolved to that point at the same time? But I don't know,
Yeah,
just
that's
saying that
like
doesn't
saying,
really make sense.
yeah, exactly. That's like saying, oh, well, one person invented the guitar, so naturally, all across
Yeah,
humanity, multiple people happen to invent the guitar at the same time. You
it's a
know,
very good point.
yeah, but
Yeah.
there is something to that, and it's like the thing when people are in a mob, they all sort of act in a similar way. Like you can get
Oh,
drawn into doing things that you would never normally do because you're in this mob. There was a
yeah.
Terry Pratchett quote that I love, which is basically just to work out the intelligence of a mob, take the IQ of the stupidest person there and divide it by the amount of people in the mob.
Okay. Like that.
But
it,
that's
it,
sort of the way
it,
it works.
yeah, it's like going back to animalistic, like kind of thing. That's what I was thinking about just when you said about the sheep thing. It's like
Hmm.
it's almost like they've developed an instinct, and that's gone around everyone. But still, how
Yeah,
would that happen?
exactly. They couldn't have
Because
communicated it.
instincts is like a legit thing, though. Because well, they did this experiment for like I think it was chickens or something that had never lived in the wild, never seen any animals, a few generations, just been in these battery farm things.
Yeah,
Um, and then they like had some kind of eagle fly over, like a natural predator to it, and they
yeah.
flew it over, and they still recognised it and still ran off, even though they'd never seen it or dealt with one in real life.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because
Mm.
it's like them. There's a bit in one of the Joe Rogan specials on Netflix where he's talking about the fact that he's got a couple of pet cats, and they've been house cats his entire life. That the entire time he's owned these cats, they've
Mm.
been inside because they're in California. There's coyotes around,
Yeah, yeah.
and apparently this cat sees a squirrel outside and it starts doing that thing there kind of thing, just like, I remember. And he's like, this is inbuilt into this cat. He's not just sitting there going like, oh look, there's a little squirrel. He wants to be my friend. It's like, no, his neck is right there.
It is weird, man, how it works like that, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
You can't. It doesn't really make sense. It's like, wait, it does. It's like DNA and all that, I guess, but it doesn't make sense then with this fucking sheep thing, though.
No, but that's the thing, exactly. There has to be something else explaining. There has to be a reason why mob mentality is a thing.
With animals too. It would make sense with the
animals.
ones in there, even if they didn't watch it much. They just kind of reacted and did the same thing because dogs and babies do that.
Yeah.
It's weird though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always go back to the same thing. You know what? They're probably bullshitting.
They're probably bullshitting, yeah.
You said that. Like, yeah, they rolled over. So I was like, oh, right, did you get a video? No. Can we do it now? No, they're tired right now.
Yeah,
Can we do it tomorrow? No, they're actually dinner now.
Yeah. They don't exist anymore. We had to kill them for safety reasons.
They're in my belly.
Delicious dead lamb.
Do you know? I'm guessing you know about like the whole MK Ultra and all that stuff. Yeah. I was reading something, watching something on it recently. Sorry, it was on about Jack Ruby. The JFK stuff was on about before.
Yeah.
Jack Ruby, the one who killed Lee Harvey Oswald. There was something to do with one of the main doctors who was on the MK Ultra thing that eventually got found out. One of his main things that he wanted to do was that he wanted to be able to look at a mind, look at a mind and figure out how we could kind of break it down. That was one of its objectives, that you could take a functioning mind and break it down to nothing and cause insanity. That was it. Cause insanity in like some sittings.
Yeah.
And he had a couple of sessions with this Jack Ruby guy, and after it, he suddenly went crazy and was unable. He wanted to do like do some kind of like testimony originally, but then he was just unable to completely. He didn't want to plead guilty or something. It seemed like he was going against whatever it could have been.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was where the whole. I think that's where the concept of the Ludovico came from. Which is a Ludovico, which they do in Archer at one point. Basically, they just sort of batter you with a continuous barrage of stuff. They do it in A Clockwork Orange as well. When he's got the eyes being kept open and he's watching all the horrible things. And
that scratched his cornea. That did,
Yeah. Oh, that was a horrible fucking story as well. Really nastily scratched it. Not like a little scratch, like fucking gouged his eye.
It like permanent damage from it.
Yeah, fucking horrendous. But yeah, that's sort of a Ludovico, and they do it in Archer. They do it in a combination with acid, which I think is what they did in the MK Ultra thing a little bit as well. It's like give them a little bit of acid. Make them watch this horrendous video. See what happens.
I had a lot of acid. And then there was
amounts of acid.
The Midnight Climax version as well.
Oh, I don't know that. I can't remember that one.
It's basically the same thing, but it's more about the means of how they would give it to them. They'd get prostitutes, to bring them into one of those little rooms to do whatever. They wouldn't actually be prostitutes. They'd be like, I can't remember if they were like agents or they were just prostitutes they paid off. But
yeah, probably the second.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But they'd probably say the first though.
Yeah.
But then they would leave though. They'd make an excuse to go out the room for a sec, and then they would just fill the room with acid, with LSD. Same thing.
Fuck.
I don't know if you still got to have sex. I don't know.
I don't know if they want to at that stage.
Probably.
I don't know if like I'm sure there are people out there who have experienced full on hallucinogenics. I personally haven't. but I can't imagine it being nice having sex with someone whilst tripping your fucking balls off. Like, I can't imagine. Like, it's either going to be fucking amazing, or you're going to think that you're going to get eaten by a giant praying mantis.
Yes, it's going to go either way.
Yeah.
I can imagine that. It's all good and that, and then you get the idea in your mind that they're going to eat you afterwards.
Oh shit! No.
Imagine if it was like a murder from that, like you attacked them or something because you thought they were going to eat your head when they were done.
You
when
don't
you were finished having
understand.
sex.
You don't understand. She's an insect person. She's an insect person.
She was coming right for me. I saw her jaw unhinge.
Oh fucking hell!
There was
For some reason, in my head, then I just got an image of the cockroach dude from Men in Black.
Oh yeah,
kind of thing.
He is freaky. That guy was. I always used to find him freaky when I was younger.
Amazing. Vincent D'Onofrio is one of the greatest actors ever. Just ever.
To be honest, I never really recognised him as a known actor.
I'm gonna blow your fucking mind. Do you want to know who Vincent D'Onofrio is?
Go on then.
You ever seen Full Metal Jacket?
No.
Well, in that he plays a guy called Private Pile, and he just goes fucking insane, right? And he's the guy who goes 7.62 millimeter full metal jacket.
Oh, he's the one that gets to say it.
Yeah.
He's said.
And he shoots his drill sergeant and then himself in the film. It's fucking brutal. And then he also played what's his name? Kingpin in Daredevil.
Oh, which one?
That's the same dude. The TV series on Netflix.
Oh.
That is the same dude. That is Vincent D'Onofrio. I
can see it now. You mention it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Didn't I get that at all?
Yeah. I love in Men in Black where they're like, what do you want? He's like, water, sugar water, water.
In all honesty, though, with that Daredevil, everyone bummed off Kingpin. I wasn't that big of a fan of him.
Oh,
not that he wasn't good at it, but I just wasn't a fan of the character.
That's fine. I think I don't know. I really like Kingpin as a character because it's just this sort of, I don't know. It's a bit like an evil Batman, if you know what I mean. He's not bothering with the capes and suits and stuff like that, but he has a huge amount of money that he is using to get his own like mischievous deeds done, and he's not necessarily like doing it himself. It's not even all that like Batman. It's just
Lex Luthor,
the money aspect, if you know what I mean.
Mm.
And also the fact that he's sort of, I don't know, he's one of the only human characters, straight up human characters, who genuinely fucking scares Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like in all of the comics, there's always been bits where he's just laid Spider-Man out with a fucking punch because he's just fucking hench.
I mean, it doesn't make much sense, but
no, but that
really
doesn't have to make sense because the guy is literally a fucking walking bull. You know what I mean?
And even if he just says that, he's a human, you don't know whether he's had some, like the Marvel Universe's version of
steroids.
I was trying to think of the other version when they call it performance enhancing drugs. That was what I was thinking of. Yeah. Just putting something in a fucking ass.
They must have some pretty insane performance enhancing drugs in a place that can produce Captain America.
That is a performance enhancing drug.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to get quite to that level, but you can get pretty goddamn close.
This is a cool thing as well that they're talking about with that whole multiverse thing, like the idea for Spider-Man and that, and the multiverse of madness with Doctor Strange, and also the WandaVision with the whole warping reality and that.
I still haven't watched WandaVision yet. I have to watch
it. Hasn't come out yet.
No, good. I thought it had for a second, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I need to watch that again now.
Let me have a look. I think it's soon.
Yeah, it's definitely soon. But before I do any of that, I've got to watch the second Borat film because I need to know what
Yeah.
happened. I need to know how the
That's-
fuck he managed to do that.
It's not out yet either.
No, that's on Friday, I think.
22nd or something like that, or 23rd.
24th.
So 24th. 24th Saturday. It might be 23rd, and that would. Is it 24th? Is it though?
Yeah, 24th. So it's definitely Saturday.
Oh, okay. Here's One Division. One Division comes out in December.
Oh, that's good. I don't have
I
to.
thought,
I don't have to worry about it.
to be fair, I thought it came out.
I thought it was November.
Yeah, I
the
thought that.
latest. Yeah.
No, it's on here though for that though. Let me check a few things. No, they all say December actually. Not even released. They've been nothing revealed. Oh, because something
Mandalorian I still
about.
haven't watched as well. That is another one I need to finish watching with fucking
Oh,
Baby Yoda in it.
I haven't started watching it. Is it worth it? Do you think?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, from what I've seen so far, it's fucking brilliant. I just don't have the time for it because I'm too busy trying to write shit.
Yeah. I just saw. Is Borat 2 on Prime Video?
Yeah,
Amazon.
free on Prime on the 24th.
Oh, banging! I never actually have Prime, but right now I've got a 3 month of Prime. That's
Yeah,
great.
there you go.
Yeah.
And they've got Borat on there at the moment as well. They've also got Bruno on Netflix, which I watched again recently. And Jesus fucking Christ, mate! Jesus Christ!
Oh, I did watch that actually. That's the one. Is that the one where they have the cage fight?
Yeah, that's the one where he's playing Straight Dave.
Did he try and have sex with his boyfriend in the cage or something?
Yeah. Basically, he comes in as quote unquote Straight Dave, and he's going like, which one of you people was like, you guys are so happy to be hetero like me, and just like this fucking bizarre shit, straight pride nonsense. Like, no, I'm straight. I don't need a fucking straight pride month. We're all fine, thank you very much. You know what I mean?
No. Although at the same time, I don't understand why we still need a gay pride parade.
I think, to be honest, it's just an excuse to have a party, and I'm all down for that.
As long as you admit that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Admit that.
Yeah.
Have a parade if you want a parade. Fair enough.
Party. Have a fucking fantastic party. Enjoy that goddamn party. I'm gonna sit there. I'm gonna have a little drink on my sofa, watch it on the TV, and go, have a fucking great time, lads.
I suppose you could argue that it is going more that way now because a lot of time it's referred to more as pride, and that, to me, when it's just referred to as pride, it makes sense.
I think so. I think it's a good excuse for people to sort of to come out of the closet if they need to. I think as well. I think there's probably a lot of people who feel a lot more confident doing that because that's sort of just accepted in the world now, if you know what I mean.
I mean, because it's so accepted, that's why I feel like you don't need the parade anymore.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Just because to me it's always been the norm, but I have kind of learned in the last few years when I looked at it more that not everyone thinks like that. So
that's the thing. It's fine in this country and it's fine in America and all that. Well, it's not even all that fine in America, as we know, but like there are countries out there like in the Middle East and areas of like China and stuff like that where homosexuality is still fucking it's the worst sinful thing you could possibly do.
I was going to say, man, you look these countries have got worse problems anyway. Though they're the ones that all believe in everything's based on some dude in the sky still.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's more important for what pride is than anything else. Like those people, they look at that and they go like, oh well, that is possible for here too. I think that's really, really important. But
even though so much we get censored from them a lot of the time, but I know what you mean. Yeah. It's like the same in Saudi Arabia. It's like women are allowed to drive now, and WWE been going there for like 3 years, like a couple of times a year to do a show, and people are insulting them for it, saying, "Oh, you're never going to do any change like you keep saying you're going to," which is why they were doing this.
Yeah.
But then they've managed to have like a couple of women's matches on there now and stuff.
Yeah.
And they've actually, and it's like fair dues.
The The one thing that's going to change people, especially like in that corner of the world, is not going to be walking into it and saying, "You evil people, why the fuck haven't you done this? Why the fuck haven't you done that?" It's money, man. It's fucking
Yeah.
money. Is there money on the table that these people can earn? Then they'll fucking do it because money. And that's the
I mean,
same everywhere. By the way, that is the same everywhere. I'm not saying that as anything fucking one particular place.
yeah, yeah.
You go to America, it's all about money. You're in this country, it's all about money. You're in China, it's all about money. It doesn't matter what the structure is around it. All that matters at the moment now is massive mega corporations or billionaires and what they can do with their influence.
I was going to argue that religion might still trump it for, like, people that are still quite religious, but at the same time, I feel like maybe not. Actually, I was thinking about it then, like they probably would choose the money over the religion.
Yeah, a lot of religious people choose the religious thing because they see it as a way of getting money. I mean, look at the mega churches in America. I mean, what an influx of cash, and they don't have to pay tax on any of it.
Wait, what's this?
Millions. Yeah, mega churches in America.
I've heard something about this recently.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
All right, so imagine an arena, an actual arena, an indoor arena, full to the brim of people all listening to one preacher. Right? And these happen not necessarily just weekly, but fucking daily. And these are the same guys who are turning up on YouTube videos and stuff saying, "No, you don't understand. Now, the reason why I have to have myself a private jet is so that when I am up in the heavens listening to God, I'm not surrounded by all these demons." And yeah, one of them genuinely says that. These people,
I can believe it.
Yeah, these people, they are fucking evil. And they have set it up so that they can just basically tell their parishioners who to vote for, what to get it done. So all of the big billionaires and governments and stuff, they all go to these people to get their people on their side. That's what Trump's been doing for years, is talking to the evangelical crowd. Because you go to 4, 5, no, not even 4, 5, maybe 10, 12 different massive preachers. Give them a big spiel about how you'll let them do whatever they want and give them a big backing, and they don't have to pay any tax on anything they earn. They'll tell them to vote for you. They'll tell them to vote for you.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Scientology. I imagine has already probably had something to do with something somewhere.
Yeah, Scientology is an interesting one because technically they don't actually have enough people to they don't have enough people to technically be a religion, or at least they didn't when they became a religion. But the reason why they managed it is, I think, is something to do with property they owned in some way. And they were basically ransoming off money towards the US government, and they were like, unless you let us do this, we're going to fuck you up even more, so you may as well give us tax exempt status, otherwise fuck you. Yeah.
Scientology is one thing I've always wanted to look into more, but it's just, I think I find it with a lot of religions when I actually look into them. The same with when I look into conspiracy theories I don't agree with. I find it hard to not spend the whole time going, "This is so dumb."
Yeah.
Why you think? Why? 2 + 2 does not equal 3. It doesn't work.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. There's very few religions that I've ever seen anything in that I liked all that much. I like the Nordic stuff. Yeah, Buddhism's brilliant. I like the Nordic stuff to a certain extent, but I feel that's just because I like the sort of Celtic stuff as well, and it's all very closely mixed in together.
You like it in the same kind of. You like it in the same kind of way you like watching Vikings.
Yeah, and runes are badass as fuck as well. They just look cool. Runes are badass as fuck. Yeah, runes, man.
What's
Ancient Nordic runes.
I don't have a clue what that is.
Right, so it's basically like what do you call it? Just the alphabet. It's the alphabet. but the way they used to write it in, as I say, Celtic
Yeah.
and Norse and Saxon. I think some Saxon mythology before it all sort of got cleaned up.
That was the original English one, weren't it? Or
Yeah.
Anglo-Saxon, yeah.
Yeah, they were all sort of mixing together around that sort of time. But that was the way they used to write. It was the way they used to spell. I've got a tattoo that's in runic stuff up here. I fucking love that shit. And I don't know. There's
Rune.
something runes. Yeah, runes.
ROO or RU.
RUNES. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, those things. I know what you mean. Yeah. Like
So
hieroglyphs,
like
any better kind of. Yeah.
Thor's hammer covered in runes. Like Thor is probably. Is he my favorite Marvel character?
I mean, I could understand it if you like.
Venom's my favorite Marvel character, but Thor is pretty fucking close.
Thor is. I didn't like him originally. I liked him from Ragnarok.
Yeah, Ragnarok's
That's
pretty
the
good.
first good one.
Yeah, I think the thing I like about Thor is it's sort of a power trip, if you know what I mean, more than anything else. Like literally being a god.
Yeah.
And having the ability to throw a dead star at people, just like fucking vaporize them.
Who is it? I'm trying to think who's supposed to be the new bad guy. I originally heard in like the Avengers and that. I originally heard it was going to be what's his name? The Planet Eater.
Galactus.
I originally heard that, but now apparently I've seen that it's Kang. We're going to be Kang. It'll probably be none of them, but
really, Kang.
Sure. Yeah, Kang, the green-looking thing.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah. I was trying to make sure that I was saying the right one.
I think so. Yeah. No, I don't know. I'd prefer Galactus. Either that or something like more like creepy. I saw somewhere someone was talking. Was it Morbo or
Morbius.
Morbius. That's it.
Mordecai.
No, it's Morbius. I think is the
Morbius.
one
Yeah.
who's their version of the devil, basically.
Jared Leto.
Yeah, that's a different one. That's the living vampire. I mean the different one, which is like, there's one which is basically like their version of the devil almost.
Okay, that must be something else. I think there is like an actual devil, isn't there? In or Satan. I remember watching something recently again with like obscure characters. You know, that might be DC actually.
Yeah, no, I think they've both done it because like DC and Marvel steal from each other all the fucking time, or at least did. Don't know whether they're allowed to do it that much anymore.
Yeah, they probably do. I mean, the whole Shazam and Captain Marvel thing, like that's just a whole ball like that is.
Yeah, there's only a couple of actually uniquely individual ones. Like Wolverine's fairly unique. Batman, I'd say, is fairly unique, but like they do have Moon Knight in Marvel. Not that anyone knows about Moon
Knight. Arguably Hulk.
Hulk's pretty unique, yeah. I can't think of anything that actually connects that much with Hulk.
I mean, the most I could think of, like in the DC side, would be like Solomon Grundy, but that wouldn't be.
Nah, maybe Killer Croc. Maybe Killer Croc.
Maybe Killer Croc. Oh, you always got that shark as well.
Oh, King Shark. Yeah, King Shark's good. King
and
Shark,
Gorilla Grodd as well.
Grodd, yeah. It's interesting that the Flash ended up fighting two anthropomorphized animals. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Yeah, probably loads more than that now I come to think of it. I'm sure he's fought Killer Croc at some point.
I find it funny whenever he's doing stuff with, when he was doing shit with Arrow, because it's like, he is so weak compared to you.
Yeah.
He's nothing compared to Flash. Flash just, you have it all done in no time.
Yeah, I find it ridiculous that Hawkeye is still, you know.
Yeah.
I like they made it work in the Avengers because he never really bit off more than he could chew. But at the same time, you've got the Hulk launching fucking, tanks at people and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And he's just like, "I'll shoot you with a bow."
It was cool for the first one because they made it work well for him, like in the storyline that he was took over and that.
Yeah,
But yeah, I completely agree.
he deserved a good storyline because he's a good character, just in the way that he's written. But
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen him and Black Widow film rather than just a Black Widow.
oh, that would have been cool.
Mm.
That would have been cool.
And before I forget as well, what I was thinking with the enemy for the new one, just thinking about it, then you know what I'd really want it to be the X-Men. So it's like, yeah, you just that neither of them know who the good guy is or the bad guy is. Maybe they appeared from somewhere else. Maybe the Avengers have actually appeared in theirs.
Yeah, you could do the multi-dimensional thing if you're setting it up with Spider-Man.
Exactly, yeah. They could just appear from their own.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be sweet. Who do you think could actually play Wolverine though? Because it's not going to be Hugh Jackman now.
But if Disney offer him Disney money though, it might be different.
I mean, I'd do almost anything for Disney money.
And he's been doing like stage shows for a while, and he probably can't be doing much of them at the moment. So
yeah, you're probably right.
Which is weird. I still don't understand why that's one of the things that you can't do.
Yeah, you see, the thing is as well.
You can go to a gym.
Yeah, you go to the gym. That's fine. Yeah, the thing is, I don't know anyone who could actually play Wolverine instead of him now.
Tom Hardy.
Off the top of my head, Tom Hardy would be okay, but he's already playing Venom now, isn't he?
Oh, good point. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and if they tried to recast it now, they'd end up having fucking some other twat from Twilight, like they did with Batman.
Oh god, yeah.
And I just,
I have faith in Marvel though. To be fair, like Spider-Man, they took Spider-Man and the third attempt at him, and best one in my opinion.
Best one by far. They know what they're doing at Marvel Studios. They really
keep it consistent as well.
Yeah.
Like
there's
one
been
overarching.
a couple of ones that weren't that great, namely the Thor movies. The Thor movies weren't great until Ragnarok.
Especially number two. Number two is especially bad.
Which is a shame because I really like Christopher Eccleston as well.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, he's such a good actor, and he just he didn't get much to do really.
He's one of them actors that hasn't really done much though. Like I remember him being in that Doctor Who and 28 Days Later.
Oh yeah, and Gone in 60 Seconds. That was.
Oh, do you know?
Yeah, he's the bad guy in the Nicolas Cage remake.
Oh, okay. I've been so long since I watched that.
Yeah. It's a good film.
I saw Kick-Ass recently. Kick-Ass 2. Kick-Ass 1.
He has got the greatest delivery of all deliveries in that film.
It's
the greatest delivery of all deliveries, like the bit where he's getting burned alive.
Yeah,
and he's screaming to his daughter, "To kryptonite!" It's like, what the? Jeez! And the thing is, like, I heard at one point Kevin Smith talking about it. He was like, "No, you don't understand, man. That's a perfect take. He's on fire."
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, yeah, fair play. You wouldn't sound normal if you were being burnt alive.
Especially if you're Nicolas Cage burning alive as well.
Yeah, I mean, that guy is fucking wonderful. I like the Ghost Rider film, not the first one, the second one. I think is genuinely underrated. I think that is such a ridiculously over-the-top Nicolas Cage film. It should have just kept on going. Like, So did you see how they made that film?
No.
Right, it was the two guys who made Crank.
Oh,
you know those with Jason Statham.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, those fucking great movies. I fucking love them. Right, anyway, right?
The second one's like a fucking acid trip, it is.
The second one's insane. The bit where they end up in the fucking, the electrical thing, and they end up with the giant heads, and they're fucking punching each other down.
They're like
Fucking
King Kong.
genius. Yeah.
King Kong was fucking got to do that. I thought that when that happened, I generally thought it was like a Rick Rolled thing. I was like, this can't be like this on everyone's copy. Surely it's just on mine.
Yeah. But that was those guys who made that film. They are the ones who directed Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance, and to actually film it, they had Nicolas Cage riding a fucking Harley, and they put all of the sort of effects over the top of him afterwards.
Yeah.
It looks genuinely cool, but with this like slightly sepia kind of style to everything, but where the flames are like digging out of it. And to film it, they were on a skateboard behind Nicolas Cage, holding onto the back of the motorbike to get the shot. And these are the directors, not fucking just cameramen. The directors themselves were getting this shot, because it's like, I'm not gonna let you do that. You could kill yourself.
No, that's cool. Yeah, lead by example.
Yeah.
But I'm like, surely you're like a proper company. You can do something better than that.
No, but this is the thing, that this was all part of Marvel's separate plan at the time, because they'd started by doing all of the the Marvel stuff at that point. I think they'd done Captain America, the first two Iron Mans, and something else. And the idea with this was to actually spin off into Marvel Knights. And it actually has, I believe, on the front of it, a Marvel Knights logo they made for it.
Okay.
And there was an idea of having multiple versions of that, because there's Ghost Rider, Blade, Moon Knight, who I mentioned before, all these other ones who are part of the Marvel Knights, team.
Moon Knight, I think that's who Keanu Reeves is being rumored to play.
Really?
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh, I'd watch the shit out of that.
So I was going to say him. I was going to say him for Wolverine, and I thought, no, he's playing that other guy.
That's really cool. If that's the way it is, that's going to be fucking awesome.
I don't think it's a confirmed thing.
Yeah, but just the way he trained in John Wick alongside the way Moon Knight is supposed to be, that's fucking perfect.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's good, because he's basically like a mercenary who comes back from like a long horrific war, and when he gets back, he starts using all of his techniques to fuck up the bad guys.
Oh yeah, so he's like a Punisher.
Yeah. Sort of like the Punisher, but I think I'm right in saying he doesn't kill people, although I can't be sure. He might well kill people.
So more like Batman then, if not.
Yeah, exactly. This is the thing. Like, Moon Knight is basically Marvel's Batman, but he's so few people know about him, and he dresses completely in white at night. Hence Moon Knight, which is like
so impractical.
Yeah, it's like, hey guys, you can't see me. Yes, we fucking can, Moon Knight.
If you lived in like Antarctica, it'd be cool then.
Yeah, you'd be fine.
That would be like as fucked up as Spider-Man living in a little village or something.
Yeah,
he was screwed.
Yeah,
no swinging for him now.
Swing off of anything. I would have loved to see more of that Ghost Rider film, and just more of the Marvel Knight stuff. That would have been so fucking cool.
Yeah, there's been quite a few film franchises that completely died, because that's the thing. That's the new thing now, ain't it? Like starting a franchise.
Yeah, start a franchise and it goes nowhere. Like the Dark Universe.
The Dark Universe, yeah.
Yeah, which was annoying because Dracula Origins was actually really kind of fun to watch.
Was that which one was that?
That was the one where basically it's about the guy who becomes Dracula. He starts off as Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah. It's not Thingy, is it though? Chris Evans.
No, it's not Chris Evans. It's a British dude with like dark hair.
What thinking of the wrong guy?
He played Gaston in the.
Yeah, that's who I'm thinking of. Luke Evans.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but yeah, that's it. I think
Luke Evans. Yeah.
And
That's
the guy, like he goes into the to the castle with Transylvania, and then Persia turns up, and Persia's like, "Hey, fuck you guys, we're gonna fuck you up. You best give us all your Transylvania shit and give us your son, because your son's gonna be my fucking, you know, child soldier, like prisoner prince thing." And so he goes, "Fuck you," kills the guys, goes to the mountains to find a vampire played by Charles Dance, fucking legend, Charles Dance. And he's the guy who, Charles Dance is the guy who's in Game of Thrones. At one point, he also plays the MP who hates Ali G in the House.
Oh, him.
Yeah, yeah.
Tywin.
Yes, the one who goes. What was it? Oh no, I've forgotten the fucking line. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Weed will now be available on the NHS for the cure of chronic diseases, such as itchy scrot. And then he continues, "To go on, I am a bell end."
Is it the guy who at the end is dancing in the women's clothes?
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah,
Charles
okay,
Dance.
yeah, I know you
But
mean.
he's playing a vampire, and so he's actually genuinely fucking scary in it. And,
He's a damn good actor in
oh my god, best film he was ever in. Sorry, best film he was ever in.
God.
Last Action Hero. Did you ever see that?
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what film you mean.
Yes.
I didn't know he was in that.
He's the guy with the smiley eyeball.
Man, I can't even remember. It's been so long ago.
Oh, dude. My favorite bit from that movie is the bit where he's just come out of the film universe into the real world. And he walks up to a guy and goes, "Excuse me, I was wondering if you could help me test something." And he goes, "Yeah, man, what?" Bang, bang, bang. Sits, waits, doesn't hear any sirens, and he goes, "Hello, I have just shot someone. I have just killed a man, and I would like to give myself up." And they just go, "Shut up!" Fucking love that shit.
It sounded vaguely familiar when you were saying it as well.
Yeah. Watch that film, man. Underrated Schwarzenegger movie. Probably the most underrated Schwarzenegger.
I did
movie.
used to love it.
Yeah.
That and another underrated one, Sixth Day. I always like that one.
Which one?
Sixth Day.
Oh shit, the cloning one. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
that's really good. And in fact, there's very few Arnold Schwarzenegger movies I don't like. I liked the one
Terminator.
where he's fighting. Yeah, okay, yeah, fair play.
And Terminator Genesis, is it?
Yeah, okay, yeah, that was shit too.
There's got to be others that aren't Terminator.
Yeah, it's hard to think of any. Running Man is supposed to be shit, but realistically is kind of brilliant.
Yeah, a lot of his newer stuff's probably like kind of poo.
Yeah. There was that one that he did recently with a guy from SNL, which was called Killing Gunther, I think it was.
Oh, I heard something about this.
Yeah, the one where he's playing like a famous assassin called Gunther, and if anyone can kill him, they get the contract, and it's following all of them like it's a docu's like thing style.
A mockumentary.
Mockumentary, that's it. It's a mockumentary. Yeah. That didn't do so well. Supposedly wasn't that great. So shame, really.
I suppose that's like Borat, isn't it? Borat's like a mockumentary, I suppose. Then.
Yeah. Borat's a mockumentary, but with balls of steel.
Yeah. Yeah, because he seems to have done this new one all secretive, hasn't he? Then, like,
I don't know how he did it. I don't.
Yeah, it was during like a lot of the election stuff, so it's got to be semi-recently.
Yeah, and he was in the Republican National Convention in the trailer, actually in there, shouted at Mike Pence that he brought him a wife or something like that. I can't remember what it was. Like,
that when he's dressed up as Trump as well.
Yes, that was it. Yeah. Oh my god, mate. I
It's gonna be
mean,
good.
it fucking better be. I'm surprised he managed to come across even just some weird yokels who didn't know who he was. Because there's that bit in the trailer as well where he goes back to some dude's log cabin with his other dude and he's just dancing around in the fucking
Yeah.
mankini again. Or was it the mankini or just underwear? I think it might have been just
I
underwear.
think it was underwear,
I
actually.
just
Yeah.
want to remember it as the mankini because the mankini's the best bit by far.
I've heard so many people claim that they'd wear that. Never seen anyone wear it that I know.
No one would ever fucking wear it. There was a actual thing after that came out where there were people trying to make that happen. I remember seeing a fashion photography like picture of a dude wearing a white and blue striped mankini.
Oh,
It's like,
gosh.
yeah, the new fashion for the summer. It's like, no one the fuck is gonna buy that. No one is gonna buy that.
There was one like 2 years ago that was like basically what would you call them, like speedos, but the one side was missing, so it would like kind of curl around and cup onto you and hold it all in place. But
No,
yeah, it's weird.
no.
You don't
Either
need to
that's
mess.
incredibly uncomfortable or it's going to come off. Like, there's no.
You don't need to mess with that kind of stuff. It's like fine as
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, reinventing the fucking wheel.
Before we finish, actually, I meant to ask you this earlier when we was on about the COVID stuff. Do you know what this what's it called? Because we've got the circuit breaker thing now. Because like as soon as something gets a name, that's which is what I've been saying they need to do for more than 2 weeks. Because that's just silly. What are you going to do for 2 weeks? So what's this firebreaker?
Firebreaker?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Google it at the same time.
I think it might be. What is it? I think it's just. Is it similar to the circuit breaker, but basically an emergency situation or something?
Well, I assume it's got to have something like the
circuit breaker.
Yeah. It's just such a weird. It's all these names and that anyway. It's like fire break. What the hell is that? Fire break. Okay, it's called something different now. Apparently, fire break now.
Fire break.
Sure, we just. The point you need to say like.
It might be the same thing, but they've named it two different things just to be.
It does. It does look like that,
Yeah.
Work from home, visit households, no gatherings, all. It doesn't say anything about school, actually.
Yeah, well, of course it won't say anything about school because, for fuck's sake, for some reason they don't think that children can get this fucking virus, which makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, but that's a circuit breakers. Will be including will be kids not going to school and that, but that's only because they're going to like extend the half term or something.
Yeah, you see, the thing is, it makes a lot of sense. The quicker you do it, the less time you have to spend in lockdown. That's the thing. If we do it now and do 2 weeks, it's a lot better than waiting, a few more weeks and then having to do 6 weeks.
Yeah, it'd have been even better not stopping before when we did. Yeah. Not sending kids all the kids back to school and everyone back to everything also, in one go.
Let's not forget that if everyone just stayed at home for 2 weeks, this would be done.
And wore masks as well when you do go out.
Yeah,
which is not hard.
No, it's not hard at all. And the thing is, that would have all been possible, but the government didn't want to pay for that much. That would have cost far too much. And also, there are certain jobs that have to be done, like power stations and sanitation work.
Yeah, like essential workers and all that. Like like fair enough in that case, and just fair enough in general. I mean, it's just it's just silly all round.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It could have all been dealt with a lot better, but there's two different ways of dealing with it. There's the way of dealing with it where you let it just happen, which certain countries did do.
Yeah, like
I'm
Sweden.
personally not a favour of that. Yeah, I'm personally not a fan of that idea.
Well, no.
Or there's the other one where you sort of lock down properly, but we've ended up in this midpoint between the two.
Just feel like that, yeah. We're like
which doesn't really affect anything all that well,
It just feels like all along, like it's just So I don't understand how they couldn't have seen all this stuff coming. Like I was saying straight away when they went about the schools, as I'm sure you and many other people were, it's like it's just going to start again. Like,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
then it
we'll open up
happened.
the schools, everything will be fine. Well, it's obviously
Yeah.
not going to be fine, though, is it? Because there's going to be loads of kids all connected to it. I live literally 3 minutes walk away from my old high school, and every single time it gets to 3:30 and it's time for them to go out, I go where if I'm on a walk, I go the opposite direction. I'll go across fields
Yeah,
and shit to avoid being near these kids, because these kids will all just group together in big fucking clusters walking down the street, no social distancing whatsoever, no fucking face masks whatsoever. Like, they don't give a shit. They're not paying attention to it, and the vast majority of their parents aren't paying attention to any of it either.
which is the most annoying thing as well.
Yeah.
Oh, like talking about stupid logic with that. My mum said something about someone she knew that's got 3 kids, and they all go to the same school, and they always have their photographs done together. But they said because of the COVID stuff, they're not allowed to have their photograph done together in school, so they have to be too close. And it's like, do you not think these kids will be at home together?
Yeah.
Like
they're in
what
the
the hell?
same household. They're technically
They're in the
brothers.
same room.
Yeah, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Surely there's no. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
It
This
just
is the
doesn't make
problem.
sense.
This is the problem as well. People know when something's bullshit, and that is bullshit, and that is going to lead people to go, then, well, that's bullshit, so therefore this is bullshit. And then
Exactly.
it's like
Yeah.
this continuous leaning on fucking, it's just a snowball effect where it just keeps on getting worse. It's like the Dominic Cummings shit. Everyone's acting like the Dominic Cummings shit wasn't somehow connected to all of this bullshit, where everyone's all like, oh, I don't have to do this, I don't have to do that, I don't have to wear a mask, I can go to this. I've seen people with symptoms go to work and shit like that. It's like, well, you fucking mad. Oh, well, Dominic Cummings did this, Dominic Cummings did that. This Scottish MP isn't going to fucking quit because she doesn't have to, and they're not going to fire her, because if they fire her, they have to fire Dominic Cummings.
And it makes it the same with Trump as well, like we were saying earlier, because he may apparently have been okay after like 4 days or whatever, but you're supposed to wait 2 weeks before you start doing stuff because you can still be infectious.
Yeah.
And he didn't. So they're going to be like, well, why do I need to?
And we got loads of stories from inside the White House of people ending up getting sick with COVID because he wasn't fucking distancing himself from people, wasn't quarantining himself, because he's Donald Trump and it doesn't fucking matter, I suppose.
And I still will be very surprised if he doesn't win as well, though.
Oh, he's going to win.
Yeah.
He's
like there's a whole thing about Hunter Biden's son as well, isn't there? Like from Ukraine, working with some Ukraine.
I'm not even thinking about that. I remember that video of Joe Biden going just absolutely fucking insane in the middle of one of his rallies. Have you ever seen that the bit where he just loses the fucking plot halfway through a sentence?
Biden?
Yeah.
No. What's it in regards to? Just so
sorry, people calling me again.
What's it in regards to? Just so I can find it.
Joe Biden campaign trail, hairy legs.
I wasn't expecting the Embis.
Let's check this message. Oh, fuck me. How many people?
I think we're pretty much done now anyway, to be fair. Oh. He's gone. We'll just wait here for a second till he returns. I said it was almost done. I didn't mean that quickly. Jesus. Almost done. Okay, bye.
Almost done. Fuck you. No, the Biden thing. Just to before I forget, if you haven't seen the video, I can't find it. He's basically in the middle of talking about a Democratic representative, and he goes, "What was it?" Yeah, he's like, I love having kids on my lap. I remember one time I was in a pool and I had these hairy legs that would turn that would turn blonde in the sun.
What?
And these kids, they come up to me in the pool and they straighten out the curly legs and hairs to make them straighten. And so I know about roaches.
Wow, I need to see that.
I shit you not, mate.
I've heard a lot about how he's supposed to be losing it. So
He's gone, mate. He's gone, and it's all well and good, like Kamala Harris being involved, but we don't know what Kamala Harris is like. I assume she's going to be better than Trump, but I don't think the people who are going to vote for Trump are going to think that. I think he's going to keep his majority.
He's just doing the same thing he did when he won it.
He didn't have a majority when he won last time. It's just because of the electoral college system that he fucking won. And now he's talking about, oh, if I lose, I'll go to a different country. That is fucking dangerous. You can't have an ex-president with all of the information on state secrets about how they run the government of America going to Russia.
Yeah.
But if he tries that, either he ends up getting assassinated, or America's in a fucking seriously bad situation.
That's the kind of thing you'd get assassinated for.
Very, very quickly.
Yeah. Because even if he's not the president anymore, he's still, like you said, he's going to have all the knowledge in that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, it's just fucking ridiculous. But I could imagine that. I could genuinely imagine that.
I can imagine it. Yeah.
I don't think he'll get assassinated. I used to say that I thought he'd get assassinated, but maybe not. But maybe after.
Maybe after, exactly. Maybe after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think we're pretty.
That was an interesting little ending point. I think that was really.
Yeah. I like all that talk about all that kind of stuff, man. We covered a lot of fucking shit then, to be fair.
Yeah, bro. We covered mental health. We covered isolation.
Yeah.
We covered
yeah.
Fucking aliens again. I fucking love talking about aliens.
Yeah. And just all that stuff with what they are as well. Like, we didn't even get onto talking about psychedelics, like I was going to mention about how they apparently all see these same things. We can keep that for another time.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah. All right, cool then. Yeah. So cool. I will see you soon, then, my man. Have a good night.
Cheers again. Thanks again. It's always fun, man. I love having a conversation about madness.
Yeah. You can't do it with everyone, so it's good. Yeah.
Exactly. It's good. Cheers again.
All right then. No worries, man. Speak to you later. Take care.